Many words we use on a daily basis are commonly undefined and contextual. Oftentimes, people know what each other is referring to although they do not or cannot define the words they use. However, for the clarity in communication, philosophies discuss the definitions of words and the results may seem counterintuitive. J. L. Mackie exemplifies this situation by defining the word cause in his Causes and Conditions. He first points out that people tend to define cause as an event which precedes the event of which it is the cause, and is both necessary and sufficient preceding condition. But he then provides an example in which this definition will not work. Suppose a fire is started in a house and experts claim that the cause is an electrical short circuit. But in this case, the electrical short circuit is neither sufficient and necessary since the electrical short circuit will not cause a fire by itself without inflammable materials, and a fire can be caused by situations other than an electrical short circuit. This electrical short circuit contributes to the fire, but it is only a part of the combined sufficient condition that leads to the happening of the fire. Basing on this interpretation, Mackie concludes that the so-called cause in this case is an insufficient but necessary part of a condition which is itself unnecessary but sufficient for the result, and the condition of this sort is an INUS condition. However, there is an unclear element in this inference: what are the essence of the causes and effects? In the same case mentioned above, experts conclude that this electrical short circuit causes this fire, but these two things are left undefined. It is fair to argue that every electrical short circuit and fire is different and unique in terms of its chemical properties, which is determined by factors such as its timing, location, not including but indicating nearby objects, and physical conditions of the environment, humidity, temperature, and so on. If all these properties are specified in the definitions of this electrical short circuit and this fire, then the former is indeed a necessary condition of the latter, because being caused by this exact electrical short circuit with certain properties will be a part of the definition of this fire. This fire and inflammable objects together are necessary and sufficient at the same time, while with the definitions assumed by Mackie, they are only sufficient but not necessary. However, if this fire in the context is not different from all other fires with different properties, then this is an INUS condition. Since the argument eventually rests on the definitions, there will not be an objectively correct answer unless everyone agrees on one specific definition. But on the other hand, we can examine examples to see when cause indicates an INUS condition and when it does not. If A was murdered by B with a gun and we say B's gun and action caused the death of A, is this an INUS condition? Certainly A could have died in many other ways, and perhaps A could have survived from the gun wound if he received medical assistance on time, which makes it an INUS condition. But when the police and media are talking about A's death, they commonly refer to his death as the specific death of A on that night caused by B's gun and action. While with this definition, people tend to think that B's gun and action are necessary and arguably sufficient, depending on whether to include A's presence, irresistibility to bullet, the lack of immediate medical assistance, and other conditions that people take for granted to A's death. Language and the use of words foster efficient communication, and understanding definitions should serve the same purpose. Mackie's INUS condition is logically valid, but it does not apply to all scenarios where the word cause is used. Luckily, there is no need to establish a specific and strict definition of each word and expect such a definition will always be suitable. In daily life, the goal should still be understanding the contextual definitions of words and therefore apply certain definitions in certain situations.